Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about one of the biggest purchases you'll probably ever make, your home. And you know that mountain of paperwork you have to sign? We're going to break down what it actually all means.
So yeah, what is in that giant stack of papers anyway? Let's dive right in. We're going to pull back the curtain on the key parts of your home loan. And here's the kicker. Depending on where you live, your loan can go down one of two completely different legal paths.
It all starts with this one, kind of weird-sounding word, hypothecation. But trust me, it's a huge deal. All it means is that you can pledge your house as collateral for the loan, but, and this is the key part, you don't have to move out. You get to live there while you pay it off. It's literally the magic that makes the whole system work.
So when you sign on the dotted line, you're not just making one promise. Nope, you're actually making two totally separate but equally important commitments. And they have to work together like a team.
I like to call this the promise versus the pledge. First, you've got the promissory note. That's your promise, your IOU to the bank. Simple, right? I promise to pay you back. But then you've got the security instrument. That's the pledge. That's the or else. It's what says if I don't pay you back, you can take my house. And this document, the pledge, is where those two different paths come into play.
All right, so what are these two paths? Well, on one side you have the deed of trust, and on the other you have the good old-fashioned mortgage. Let's break down who's involved in each because it makes all the difference, especially if things ever go south.
Okay, path number one, the deed of trust. This is super common in a lot of states. Basically, it's the legal tool that lets your lender sell your house if you stop paying. But the really interesting thing here is that it brings a third party to the party.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Check out the players. In a classic mortgage, it's just a two-person dance. You, the borrower, the mortgagor, and the bank, the mortgagee. But a deed of trust, it's a three-party deal. You've got you, the trustor, the lender, the beneficiary, and this new character, the trustee. This trustee is a neutral third party who holds all the power, specifically something called the power of sale. And believe me, that one little addition changes everything.
Okay, so what happens when the worst happens? A borrower stops making payments. This right here, this is where the two paths don't just diverge, they split off into two completely different universes. It's the single biggest difference between them.
If you're on the deed of trust path, foreclosure is what's called non-judicial. And that's a fancy way of saying no court required. Seriously, the lender just tells the trustee, hey, they stopped paying. The trustee files a piece of paper, waits a bit, and then boom, they hold an auction. The whole thing is designed to be super fast and cheap for the lender.
Now, flip that completely on its head for the mortgage path. Here, foreclosure is judicial. That means the lender has to take you to court. They have to file an actual lawsuit. It goes through the whole legal system. A judge has to sign off on it, and then the sheriff can hold the auction. You can probably guess this takes way longer and costs a whole lot more.
But wait, even if you default, it's not always game over immediately. You might have some rights, a shot at a second chance. But, and you're probably sensing a theme here, what those rights are depends completely on which path your loan is on. Okay, for those on the deed of trust path, this number is everything, 90 days. From the moment that notice of default gets filed, you typically have about 3 months to reinstate the loan. This is your window. It's your chance to hit the brakes on the whole foreclosure process by getting caught up on every single penny you owe.
Now, this is a huge difference, especially for the borrower. Let's talk about what happens after the sale. With a deed of trust, once the auction is done, that's it. It's over. You generally have no right to get the property back. But in many mortgage states, wow, there's something called the statutory right of redemption. It's like an extra life in a video game. It gives you a window of time, even after the sheriff has sold your house, to come up with the money and buy it back from whoever won the auction. It's an incredible last-ditch lifeline.
Okay, let's bring it all together. We're going to look at a quick showdown between these two, and then we'll dive into the fine print to decode a few clauses that you absolutely have to know about. Think of these as the official rules of the road.
So here it is, the big showdown. You can see the trade-off, right? The deed of trust is fast, it's out of court, but you lose those post-sale protections. The mortgage, it's slow, it's bogged down in the legal system, which gives the borrower more time and that potential chance to redeem. But there's a catch. The lender might be able to come after you for more money if the auction doesn't cover the whole debt.
And listen, no matter which path your loan is on, you need to know about these gotcha clauses. First, the acceleration clause. This is the big one. If you miss payments, the bank can say, forget the monthly payments, you owe us the entire loan balance right now.
Then there's the alienation clause, often called the due-on-sale clause. All that means is if you sell the house, you got to pay off the loan. And finally, watch out for a prepayment penalty. Yeah, you can actually get charged a fee for paying off your loan too soon.
So this brings us back to you. Your loan follows one of these two paths. It's either a deed of trust or a mortgage. So the question is, do you know which one you have? Because knowing what's in those documents isn't just something you do at the closing table. It's about understanding your rights, your risks, and your responsibilities for as long as you own your home.